Brings Shiva into strike. Settles. So they're asking now Stephen Taylor to come into the extra cover position. So there's a deep extra cover. Back past the ball. Man from the long off position giving chase, but cannot prevent the batsman from getting a single. So one more to the total. Takes the total now to some 39. 39 for the loss of some 2 wickets. And we're into what, the 7th over?
May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? We're asking a few players here to proceed to field number 1.
That was a good looking shot over extra cover by Arjun. And Arjun continues. Seems to be the more aggressive of the two, Leon Francis.
Yes, and back to the players. Omer Shakil from New England, Saeed Fazam, Quaid Yulam, Azim Hasif, Moad Azzal, and Shivaz. We're asking you players to proceed to the first field for a game against Canada. That will be starting in say about 10 minutes.
And this one is played into the backward point boundary by Shiva for 4. Good looking shot by Shiva. So Shiva and Arjun continues to take a toll on these bowlers. Shiva goes up to some so Arjun goes up to 34. And Shiva is on 7. A fine shot. Good looking shot. All along the ground. So good looking shot by Shiva. So the over comes to an end. Very expensive over there, Leon Francis.
Indeed. You can't afford to allow so many runs in an over. But it happens, and it's cricket. We shall see what will happen in the upcoming over. Because what you'd want to do in this form of the game, Eddie, is to restrict the number of runs that are being scored. And play his... Just want to say that it's a wonderful day here at the Central Browns Regional Stadium. And we invite those of you who are outside listening to this commentary. You may just want to come and see some exciting game that is being played here today. And I understand there are too more matches to be played this evening. And we do hope that you'll come and enjoy this wonderful cricket in South Florida. It's overcast, but it's enjoyable. Not too hot, not too warm, Eddie.
This kind of weather I can certainly live with all year round. I'm pretty much sure Ivor Henry
reminds him of
those same sentiments.
Reminds him of Nevis, right, Eddie? Ivor?
I'm pretty much sure. Wouldn't want to say Trinidad and Tobago, right, Leon Francis?
Don't know too much of that. I've never been there.
Well, they say
Strange enough.
Well, they say the south gets more rain than the north or the northeast. That's what they say.
Well, we're looking to see the opening of the new West Indies 4-day tournament come November 6th.
I'm talking about the West Indies. How are they doing down in Sri Lanka, Daly and Francis? Not a very good start for the Windies at all.
Replying to 484, they were dismissed for 250 and 62 or 67 for 2 in the second innings after having been asked to follow on.
So you think that the Sri Lankans are looking to give the West Indies 2-1? Naughty,
It
naughty
could well
bunch
be,
of fellas.
could well be, but we never know.
That's not the way you treat your visitors at all. You
Uh,
want to make sure you set out the red carpet for them, cook for them, and treat them well. But in this situation, the Sri Lankans are not having any pity at all on the Windies, but I'm pretty much sure that the Windies will come back.
And 4 runs being scored there, Eddie.
So good-looking shot there by the man wearing the number 2 jersey. Takes the total now to some 51. And also we have a new bowler being introduced into the attack from the northern end. And this one will go into the wide mid-wicket boundary. Just goes, pulls it back. Is Timothy Surajwala just about maybe an inch away from the boundary line there, Leon Francis.
Yes, that was close, very close to being going past the boundary ropes, but it being stopped and prevent the extra runs.
So not a good introduction thus far for the man wearing the number 3 jersey. The left arm going between the umpire and the stumps. Plays out in towards the direction of young Stephen Taylor. Young Stephen Taylor, of course, played in the CPL, the just concluded CPL for the Barbados Tridents. We'll come back to that in a second. Fine shot, but cannot get it away. So good bit of cricket all around.
And
Is he? Yes, indeed.
He is being run out.
He was caught stealing,
And
he didn't quite get back home. The return came in, knocked the bails off the wicket, and the umpire at square leg signal in agreement with the wicketkeeper and also the fielder, and he will have to go run out. Very unfortunate way to go, Leon Francis.
very unfortunate, but he was responsible for his own shortcoming. I tell you, you got to see that ball past that fielder before you attempt the run. I don't think it was too swift. It came direct to the fielder, and he had no chance when once that ball was thrown direct to the stumps. So, it wasn't his call as well, as Ivor was saying to me. Wasn't his call. Because his back was really to where he played the ball. And as such, it would be a danger when once it went to the fielder, who I must say was very swift. He picked up and with one motion had the stumps down. And the new batsman, I'm sure you're aware of that, Eddie, is
Salim. Saqib Salim takes a guard from umpire Ali. Marks his mark now, looks around. Have a final look, settles into his stance just about now, awaiting the arrival. So making some final adjustment there. They're going to bring in a solitary slip. Out towards long on, pulls the man off the long on boundary. So immediately he's off the mark. And the score goes up by 1 to some 58 for the loss of some 4 wickets. Just have to make sure that I keep in line with my score. I don't want to be in any sort of a disarray with my score here out of Trinidad and Tobago. Victor Charles. Man who would have gone to Maracas Bay on a number of occasions. You ever gone to La Perouse, Victor? Man from Trinidad has never gone to La Perouse. How about Tobago? Been to Tobago quite a number of occasions. Settles now is Arjun, the man with the hat and the aggressor of all the batsmen we have seen today. Looking to turn it into the onside. Wrapped to the pad. There's a loud appeal, but not outside the umpire. The over comes to an end. And at the end of it, at the end of the 8 over, 6 over according to my score of Victor Charles, it is 58 for the loss of some 4 wickets. Your thoughts and comments thus far, Leon Francis. The man out of Antigua and Barbuda.
well 58 for the but how many overs are gone? You said 7 overs? 6 overs. And okay. After 6 overs, that's a good score, healthy scoring rate. An average of 6, Nines are 54 over 9 per over. That's what. But with a loss of 3 wickets, I would say, Eddie, that this is a good score under all conditions. 6 overs. If you after 10, you should be in the about 50 to about 70 runs.
Well, if the calculation is correct, I would say somewhere into the 70s.
70s and.
Well, as Ivor Henry saying in the background, they would have lost a couple of early wickets, and they're trying to repair now. So the Carpenters are out there doing their job.
Nevertheless, under all circumstances, a score of 58 at this point is good, and it's left for the middle order and the tail enders to pick up the pieces.
Am I hearing an early prediction from you there, Leon Francis?
Yes. Well, you can predict, but it's what the outcome will be.
I like that.
I would say in excess of 130.
I would say 128. Close enough.
Close enough.
Full toss pushed up there, and the batsman just pushing it into the covers. So Patel.
Okay.
So Patel turns now in operation from the commentary box end. Fine looking shot. The man from the point and the gully giving chase. Fine. Have to go back into his crease. So it's only a single. Bring the lefty Arjun into strike. And I'll give you Arjun's. He's on 38 and Saqib is on 2. And Arjun has faced some 21 deliveries. So it is 59. Ivor Henry, 59 it is for the loss of some 3 wickets.
Well, Eddie, at the end of the over, we'll talk about the England and the Pakistan scores.
Pretty much sure that's much interest around these parts of the world today. Skies it high and hard. It has the distance also, and it has the height. This will go away for 6. There's no question about it. The signal comes in now from umpire Jamula out of India. And the little man with the hat hand goes hard and high. 6 more to the lovely and aggressive Arjun Leon.
You see, Eddie, I still can't understand why the team would have won the toss and send the opponent into bat, because there is not a cash prize for winning the whole tournament, but there is individual prizes. The batter, with the best batter and the most runs, that is, they will be getting some $1,500. And the best bowler, same thing, $1,500. So I would think that someone of the batter in the batting team would always want to bat to make sure grab a hold of that $1,500.
And with the captain being from South Florida also, Ivor, it beyond me why he would basically, perhaps he saw something in the pitch, I don't know. But we'll have to ask him about that later on. He's wrapped in a pad. But there's a little stifle appeal from the bowler, not outside umpire Jamula. Do you think Ivor Henry, that ball was going down the leg side?
Yes, well, the umpire is in the better position to see that, and it was a stifled appeal, so evidently the bowler and fielder would have thought that it was not worth the prolonged shouting of an appeal to the umpire, so the appeal was somewhat aborted. It remained just an inquiry.
Salim. Waits and Arjun settles now. Push it back along the track. The over comes to an end. And at the end of the over, at the end of it, it is 65 for the loss of 3 wickets.
And again, I was saying that there's a prize for the best wicket keeper and fielder. But we're going to have Leon bring you up to date with the test match that's going on between Pakistan and England at this time.
Well, as you know, the Pakistanis, they have won the toss in the first test match, and they scored a mammoth 523 for 8. with some useful scores, 245 by Shoaib Malik and 107 by Sadiq or Shafiq. And we had a 98 by the opener, Hafiz, Mohammed Hafiz, 523 for 8. England replied with a good reply indeed, 569 for 8, with Alistair Cook scoring a double century, 263. Useful scores from Ian Bell, 63, and 85 from Joe Root. But I turn it back over to you, Eddie, as we see the next deliveries about to be bowled.
Slapped it out into the covers. Batsman gets a single, so Arjun goes up by 1 to some 44 from some 25 deliveries. It brings Saqib into strike, and Saqib is not scoring extremely well. So the left-hander combo, left-hander, right-hander combination causes usually problems for the fielding team. And this is what we are seeing here. All kinds of directions, like busy police officers in any Caribbean city, all kinds of directions, left, right, left, right. You would have gone to those sort of a regiment there, Leon Francis.
Indeed, that reminds me of the military. Were you ever in the Antigua Defense Force?
I'll let that driver the Henry to answer. We'll come back to that in a second. Wouldn't want to give away that position that easily. They say Ivor, was it a cop, Ivor?
Yeah, he was a cop.
Yes, indeed.
I got away from a ticket from him once.
Oh, really?
Right, Ivor?
Wonder what he would have ticketed you for. Perhaps speeding or driving without a license or driving on a suspended license. This one played up towards the deep long off position. Batsman just ambled through for a quick single. And it takes a total now to some 87, according to my scorer. 87, 68.
You see, Eddie, he was ticketed for driving while he was playing cricket, all along the ground.
All along the ground. That's a good one.
I thought Eddie would have picked it up.
Over covers. Man from the cover boundary comes across to his right, but cannot prevent the batsman from coming for a single, coming back for run number 2. Takes the total now to some, is that Ivor's favorite? Takes it up now to 70. Just missed it by 1, Ivor.
Pakistan boy. Ooh, man is settling on it. Will he take the catch? Yes, he does.
So he was there for quite a long time, and I don't see any reason why he would have flew that one. So the danger man goes. Oh, he's still there. So the danger man comes back to the pavilion. Let's see if the run rate will drop just a little bit there, Ivor Henry.
Well, he had some parting words for his batting partner as he was about to pass him on the way to the dugout. But he would have done his bit there. His team was in a spot of bother when there was some 3 wickets, 47 partnership. So they fell just 3 short of the 50 partnership. So good repair job there, but is it enough? We will watch and wait. It's still a 2020 encounter, and this is the first of its kind here in the US of A. And we're asking each and every one of you out there who are in the vicinity of the Central Bowed Regional Park to come on over. And we're having games up into the night, and tomorrow we'll be having games starting at 1 o'clock. And Sunday we'll have the grand finale and the closing ceremony. And once again, to remind you, they're going to be individual prizes as opposed to the team taking away a cash prize.
So the new batter is Shivnarath. This one is punched away in towards the deep cover. Stephen Taylor is on the boundary. He picks up. Rifles a return in. Batsman gets a single. So the end of the over, the end of it, it is 71. 71 for the loss of some 4 wickets. And we have just seen the completion of over number 8 it is, scorer, according to my scorer, Victor Charles.
Well, Ivor mentioned moments ago the prizes that are up for grabs. And the best batsman, he will earn a total of $1,500. Not EC dollars, no, Eddie, US. And the second best batsman, $1,000. The best wicket keeper, it would be $1,000. The best bowler, $1,500. And the second best bowler will earn $1,000. And the best fielder, that's open to everyone, $1,000. We'll fill you in with some more as we await the delivery of the next, or the start of the next over. Eddie?
So Kumar comes into the attack from the southern end. Batsman looking to turn it into the onside, into the fine leg region. Didn't make contact. It's a wide delivery, signal and call by umpire Jamula. So the sun is back with us there, Leon Francis.
Very much so, very much so. We appreciate the sun coming through from under the clouds come through, and it's somewhat bright. It's getting a little hot, and I'm sure the players would have enjoyed the atmosphere here today.
Kumar on his way now to bowl to Sakwir, and Sakwir for this delivery is forward into the fence, pushed out into the onside, and the batsman take off for a quick single and get it quite easily too. They did not. Get back into their crease, their respective creases. Getting a little bit ahead of myself there, Leon Francis. Perhaps the reason why you came a little bit close to me, Leon Francis, the little man out of Antigua and Barbuda. Where are you from in Antigua, Leon Francis? St. John's or in the Liberta, Falmouth area?
Born in Liberta, lived in the city for most of my life.
Country guy coming into town. Is there a difference between the country life and the city life, though?
I used to love the country more than the city, to be honest.
We'll get back to that. Here is Kumar on his way now to bowl to Sakwir, and Sabir just slap that over cover. This will run away for 4.
It was there for the asking. It was full, and it was well placed, and it had the boundary written in all over from the time it left the bat.
I would say from the time it left the hands of the bowler, so Kumar will want to bring it a little bit closer to the batter. Cramping him for room wouldn't be a bad idea, Leon Francis, would it be?
Not in the least. But let's see what the next delivery will do.
Yes, indeed. This one had him jumping, coming off the face of the bat down towards the point region. The batsman gets a single. So a little bit of restrictive there for the batsman. He's bringing now, see that into strike. Total goes up now to some 77, according to my score. So I'm surrounded here with a lot of West Indians. Victor Charles, of course, out of the Twin Islands Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Come back to that in a second. Here is Kumar. And he's went out to bowl to Shivras. Out towards the wide mid wicket and long on region and into the boundary bowl for 4. So good looking shot from the tall man wearing the number 7 jersey, opening the shoulders. Has some big shoulders there, Leon Francis.
Oh, how you wish you had similar shoulders.
I have bigger shoulders. You just haven't seen me playing cricket in about maybe a year and a half. But coming out of retirement, I've been asked on many occasions. I'm still thinking about it. Here's Kumar now on his way from the commentary box end to the bowler. And the batsman can get no run. As I was saying earlier on, I'm surrounded by lots of West Indians. To my right is Victor Charles out of the Twin Islands Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. To my left, my sidekick, my showpiece, would say Leon Francis out of the Twin Islands state of Antigua Barbuda.
I'm so glad you remember to mention Barbuda.
Well, it's been dormant for some years now, and I'm glad that it is back in the fold of things.
And
pushed out into the covers. The batsman can get no run. Total remains on some 81 for 4. So the over comes to an end at the end of the over, and at the end of it, 81 for the loss of 4, Leon Francis.
Yes, indeed. And as I was saying before, the match England or Pakistan versus England is a high-scoring match. Pakistan having scored 523 for 8 when they declared their innings close. England replied with 569 for 8. And it's a pitch that you would love to bat on, Eddie.
Yes, indeed. My kind of pitch.
Yes.
Ball coming on to the bat. Between the umpire and the stumps. So wide delivery, slapped it into the cover region. Stephen Taylor is given chase just to his right of the deep cover. And the batsman only gets a single. So they realize that Stephen Taylor is good out in the deep and have him out there for quite some time. Has a very strong arm, very young, very talented.
And we do hope that he
Has
will
a
be
strong
back.
leg too.
We do hope that he'll be back in the PCL next year.
You saw that you saw that shot that he played off of Badri,
And that was worth his retention in that team. The pride.
and the one that he hooked off Bravo for 4, and then
Yes.
Bravo came back with the follow-up delivery and sunk it at young Stephen Taylor, and it went over his head.
Yes, indeed, his worth being recalled or retained in the team, and I think he will do justice to the South Florida area by being the only representative in the PCL.
And I think
CPL.
I think that Pollard likes him as a player
Very much so.
because he let him open the innings. He kept the wicket. He played an all-round game.
And that is showing some confidence in the young man.
This one is played out towards long off. Gets a single. So the total goes up now to some 84 for 4. Takes Shivnath on to 5. Saqib is on to 12. 84 it is for 4. High and hard between the long off and the long on and over the head of the bowler for 4. Good looking shot there, Leon Francis.
A very good shot, well timed and well placed. Worth, it was there for the asking, and he took advantage of it. And he got four useful runs.
So Sivnura Salva settles into his stance. This one is played into the wide long off position, coming around, knocks it down all along the ground, and batsman end up with a single. It brings Saqib back into strike. 88 it is, 89 it is for 4. And we're into the 10th over. 20th throw the stumps down at the non-strikers end. The over comes to an end, and it is the end of my stint. I'm looking around to see if I see Ivor Henry. Ivor Henry somewhere looking to get an interview. The 10th over has completed, and it is some 89 for the loss of 4 wickets after being asked to bat. The Pacific is going well. Your thoughts and comments so far, Leon Francis?
Well, a good comeback here by the batting side. And the latest score we have is
89?
89 it is. For the loss of
4 wickets.
4 wickets. So, yeah, not too bad. 10 overs, 89 runs. An average of 8.9 per over. And we'll see. Well, my 130 looks small at this stage, Eddie.
And that's the reason why I went below the belt and said it would be somewhere in the region of 128.
Yes, well, it looks to be gonna be over 150 now with this start.
You really think so, Leon Francis?
Yes, 150 could be a good challenge, good total to predict at this stage.
Out towards long on. And in one bounce over the boundary board for 4. The signal comes in now from umpire Jamula. So 4 more to the tall man wearing number 7 jersey. Evenas just coming down the track, just halfway out of his crease. So he taps the middle of the crease now. So the bowler has now changed his direction. Give himself some room and just slap it down towards cover. This will run away for 4. So Timothy Surge Bally has decided very early in the chase to give it up. And the man looking good and good and good. And he continues to get better every time he faces Leon Francis.
Yes, indeed. As I was saying, and you were predicting a total of 128. Eddie, it looks like we are way off our prediction. 150, in excess of 150, could well be the end of this 20 overs today.
Well, you need to get just the wicket, disrupt the batting tempo of these two. Let's see if the man winning number 3 jersey will provide that sort of entertainment. Turns it into the fine leg region. And from the deep backward of square position, Stephen Taylor comes across. Had to run a long way to his right. And the batsman was able to come back for run number 2. So Salva continues to impress.
Signaling for something the wicketkeeper is, or the batsman is.
Perhaps someone is walking across the side screen. All is well now settles. And that's the French cut. Gets a single. Looking back at the ball as it makes his way into the final region there, Leon Francis. But he's asking for a change of gloves. He's going to get it quite easily too.
Well, that's what he was signaling about, and we could not predict what it was, but now we've seen what it is. I hope that will make a difference in his performance.
Turns it into the long on position, gets a single in Sequib. So Sequib goes up now to some 13. And Salva. So now Salva is on 21. And he comes in to strike. Zapped it into deep cover. Finds Timothy Surge Bally in the way. The batsman can only get a single, so the over comes to an end. And at the end of the 11th over, the Pacific, there are some 102, correction, for the loss of some 5 wickets. Leon Francis.
102 for 5. Good score after having us falls for 4, right? 4 wickets, correction. 102 for 4 wickets. A good total at this stage. And I still maintain, Eddie, it's going to be in excess of 150. But I see the batsman has gotten his change of gloves. I hope he is about to launch an attack, trying to up the ante at this stage to try and see how much runs they can amass to put the pressure on the fielding side.
Just to satisfy your prediction, well, we'll see what the end result is.
Well, I assume the fielding side would want to restrict them as much as possible. But you know what happens? The batting team will do what they can to maximize the number of runs that are being scored. Very good day here at the Central Broad Regional Stadium, and you're watching the U.S. National Championship, the first of its kind.
Yes, indeed it is. I have to tip your hats to Matt Qureshi. This one is played out towards long on. This will go for 6.
Another maximum score there by the batsman. And is he the one who had his...
Salva, it is.
Who had his glove being changed. And you do have a change in the commentary here with Ivor taking up the reins. Oh, no. Well, Eddie wants to just take care of this over before we cross over to Ivor.
So Salva continues to be aggressive, continues to be the hard hitter that they expect him to be. Settles into his stance now. He's on some 28. Field is changing, making some minute adjustment, final adjustments. Just one bounce to the fielder in the wide mid-wicket position. As he rehearses the shot now, perhaps he's saying to Leon Francis that he should have gone with it a little bit more finer.
Never know what he's thinking, but I assume that he wants to get as many runs as possible. Can't afford to allow any chances to get away.
It's a wide delivery down the leg side.
Danger to bowl wide at this stage of the game. You'll always want to be on target, even though you may allow a single, but not to have an additional ball and allow a single.
Qureshi. Feeling to his own bowling. Zishan Qureshi turns at the top of the bowling mark between the umpire and the stumps. Now one is went out to bowl to Saqib. Saqib for this delivery, pushing it back just past in the outstretched hand of Zishan Qureshi, and that's a chance right there. Might have touched the edge of the index finger. Nonetheless, the batsman come to for a quick single.
Was low to his left, and he could not have gotten. He could have taken a catch, but it wasn't to be.
I think he went towards it nonchalantly. He didn't expect it. I don't think that he did. And this one is played into the long on, the wide mid wicket position by Salva, and the batsman gets a single. So one more to Salva, one more to the total. It takes the total now to 113 for the last of 4 on way into the 12 over. Salva goes on to some 30, and Saqib is on some 15 from some 15 deliveries. So Saqib is the man playing the anchor role. Zishan continues from the northern end between the umpire and the stumps. And Saqib just pushed out into the region. Zishan Qureshi field to his own bowling. The over comes to an end, and at the end of the over, and at the end of it, the end of some 12 overs, it's 113 for 4. Salva is on 30. Saqib is on 15. It's a good time now to turn you over now to Ivor Henry.
And just to remind our listeners, as we will be bringing you up to date with the latest scores out of Sri Lanka. West Indies are playing the Sri Lankans, and they are not doing too well at this point, having had to chase 484 in their first innings. They succumbed by scoring 250, and in their second innings, at the end of the third day, they were 67 for 2, with Bravo scoring 50, being the top scorer. And I'm sure they'll want to, at least Samuels and Bishu, well, Bravo and, is it Bravo and Bishu he's in the second innings are in? I hope they can repair the damage, Ivor.
Yes, indeed, and cricket, lovely cricket all around the world at this time, and we would not be left out here at the Central Bird Regional Park. This time the batsman comes forward and plays it with soft hands to the man fielding in the extra cover region, and a dot goes into the book.
You could ill afford dot balls now, Ivor. To me, I say it's a maiden ball, right?
Yes, well, this time he's going high and hard and out of the grounds for maximum 6, and the umpire hands goes aloft in the peculiar fashion to signal 6, Leon.
Yes, indeed, and that's what is needed at this stage of the game. You need to up the ante, do as much, maximize the number of runs that you can get, and the bowlers has got to be on target.
Yes, well, he comes, let's see, this time the batsman is turning this one around to the short square leg position. He picks up a single, which in effect takes the score up to 120.
Indeed, you'll have to turn the strike over, get the singles if you can't get the boundaries. The important thing is to keep the scoring ticking over.
Yes, and the clouds would have been driven away by some sunshine here. In the north, there's some thick, heavy clouds, but there's no immediate threat of rain, and the sun is out in all its glory at this time. The batsman is getting a full toss, and he's making good use of this one. He strikes it further and further back, and the umpire hands goes aloft. 6 more as Romeo is coming in for some harsh treatment here. He's bowling these loopies back of the hand, and the batsman is making good use. So 126 it is for the loss of some 4 wickets. The batsman cracks this one in the air, and he's passing the man in the cover region for a boundary. So he's going after Romeo, and he's making good connection, Leon.
Very good connection. It was a gift, as it were, and it was well dispatched. And oh, how you, as a batsman, love to receive those balls, especially at this stage of the innings.
Yes, with 5 men in the onside, Leon, in the offside, and he still found a way to pick the gap and
the field.
Got the result, the desired result. Romeo flatter faster. The batsman is playing at one down the leg side, goes past him. Nicely taken there by the wicketkeeper, but an extra goes to the scoreboard, and Romeo will have to bowl that one over, Leon.
To have such expensive overs, so Ivor, because you want to restrict them as much as possible. Anything in excess of 150, 60 has to be difficult under all circumstances.
Well, Pacific would have won their first match. They would have played a match already, and they would have overall 150 with
150.
Yes, they overhauled that. That was a target set for them, and they got there on a counter, and now they're setting a target.
Yeah,
the first target. Game. Yeah, the first game they were chasing. So. I think we're going to be having a bowling change, and we'll tell you who that bowler is in a minute by his number 12, I think. And he's Salman. So Salman, from the mark of his 1 lane, it seems he'll be bowling
fast medium or medium fast, whichever.
Yes, we'll watch and wait, but he too would have had 5 men in the offside and 4 in the on. Comes in right arm over, and this time he's down the leg side, and wayward delivery taken there smartly by the wicket keeper. So one goes into the book via extras. Take the total up to 104. It's a 20-20 encounter, and we said the sun is out in all its glory now here at the Central Broad Regional Park. And this time he's hitting it over the bowler said the safest, one of the safest places to play, and he
got the maximum.
Yes, he got the maximum for that one. He flat batted it back over the bowler's head, and like we said, they're finishing well, Leon.
And that's what is required at this stage of an in T20 innings. You have good finishers.
Yes, in the first over, they would have lost some 2 wickets, so the repair was done, and now they're closing in and trying to get. This time he goes in the air. He has the height, but the wicketkeeper is settling under it, and the batsman did not even try to cross. So,
yes,
good result there for Salman, having been whacked out of the park with his first legal delivery, which in effect would have been the second one because the first one would have been a wide. So he's spot on, as it was a slow one from him, and the batsman got after him, but could make no more than to get it into the air and could not pass the wicketkeeper.
You couldn't blame him. He has to go for it at this stage. You have to at least go put a challenge, and in actuality, it just ended in giving an easy catch to the wicketkeeper. But I would not batsman at all. I thought that he had to go for the runs and to see as many runs as possible that he could accumulate. Good stage here is being set for perhaps a little over 160 now. My prediction could be now, because it's The last couple of overs, we see some runs are being scored. Some 16 or so runs were scored in the over before this one. And at the beginning of this over, we saw 6 being scored. So, all in all, you'll have to say that it's looking good for the batting team. The runs are being scored.
Yes, and like we said, it's 140 at this time, and we still have a few more overs to go, Leon. So they're setting a target, and we'll see the one chase, because they would have won the toss. Southeast would have won the toss and invited the Pacific in to bat.
Would you have sent them in, Ivor, having seen the first match?
I wouldn't have sent them in for one good reason, because there are individual prizes to be had, and I'm a batter, so I I have to look at it from that perspective. But play is underway again, and this time the batsman is square driving, getting it past the man at the backward point, and it goes into the boundary for 4. It was a lovely shot, and the batsman, probably under the instructions of you have to go and keep going, he would have received his first delivery, and he square drove right in the in a manner of allowance for who is here with us today. He's one of the adjudicators
Okay.
throughout this tournament.
It was a valiant effort by the fielder there, but it was still a little to his left, and he
This
could
time
not.
he's playing one around the corner, and they're running quickly for a single as the throw was directed at the non-striker's end, as he was playing a lovely shot around the corner. But he got 1 for his effort, so he goes on to 5. So 145 it is for the loss of 5 wickets. Salman with a wicket on his belt. The batsman is driving. Goes out to the long off position. The batsman ambles through for a single. So 146. And we're going to be having 2 more games after this, Leon, as over.
The over comes to an end, and like you were saying, Ivor, there are going to be 2 more matches after this, and we do hope that the excitement will be built up such that it could invite a number of other spectators to come and see this wonderful affair, the first national championship being put on by the Cricket Council USA, and we applaud them for really doing this and bringing some cricket here in the Central Broad Regional Stadium.
Yes, indeed. And we have in our midst here the official scorer, Victor Charles, very efficient. As a matter of fact, he's doing yeoman services, operating the electronic board here at the park, as well as he's on his electronic scoreboard here.
World famous Victor Charles?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
I don't know if he's related to the Charles over there in England.
Oh, never know.
No, one never know.
Never know.
Well, we're having a bowling change after we would have seen some 16 runs from Romeo giving up. This time the batsman is coming forward and stroking this one to the mid-wicket region. Gets 1 for his effort. 147 it is for the loss of some 5 wickets. 6 more overs. And it'll be 5 after this. So we have quite a few men on the boundary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have all of 4 men inside the 30-yard circle. So Sanju Patel is the new bowler. He's bowling right arm, medium pace. This one is into the legs. The batsman who whips it up to the long on. He gets 1 for his effort. So quite a bit of change here from the last over from this southern end, when Romeo would have been whacked out of the park some 2 times for maximum, and I think 2 boundaries.
And the boundaries have dried up, Ivor, at this stage.
Yes, with the fall of that wicket in the previous over. This time the batsman is coming forward and they're playing it back along the track where the bowler fields himself.
Very good over so far, Ivor.
Yes, so
Couple singles and a dot ball.
yes, you can see he's reversing. You can see some reverse swing here from from him. There's a gentle breeze. You can look at his trousers, see the breeze blowing from east to west as he goes into the center of the soccer marking. But it's a multi-purpose
Stadium.
Yes, this time the batsman is playing a lovely shot over the deep backward square leg for a maximum 6.
Yes.
And he took this one right off the center off stump, but it has all the timing in the world. It was effortless. And my word.
It went for the maximum. Deservingly so. And although there was a man placed there, he easily covered the man and was over the boundary ropes for 6.
So this time the batsman is playing one around the corner. Probably got some pad into it. Wait for the umpire. No, just pads, so a leg by. So we have to say a mini reprieve there for Mr. Patel, in that he was being struck out of the ground for that maximum 6. Sanju Patel, that's it. So right arm over. This time again, he's playing this one around the corner. There's one here in the making. There's 1. There's 2. And the batsman going to be thinking about a 3rd, and that's all it will be. Just a thought of a 3rd, Leon.
Yes. Just a thought, but I see some urgency in the batting. They're trying to maximize the number of runs, and they were trying for the 3rd, but it was none. So I would be happy for that couple of runs, because 8 or 9 runs having been scored in the over is not bad going at all.
Yeah, well, but it was a lovely bit of feeling there by the fielder in the deep down there, who slid and took it inches away from the boundary rope.
Well, every single run that is being saved is really, really going to be appreciated by the fielding side, because they know that they have to score whatever is being set at this stage.
Yes, well, the latest score here is 157. Pacific having sent into bat by the SouthEast team.
Almost 8 and over so far, and we have not yet finished the 20th over.
No.
We have quite a few more to go, or 2 or 3 more.
4 overs to go.
Oh, 4.
So here comes the wicket taker. Outside the off stump, he's slapping it to point, but can't beat him, so a dot goes into the book. And that's Salman. So he has a wicket to his name. Having been walked out of the park, and he came back and took a beautiful wicket in which the batsman skied it, could not get it past the wicket keeper. The batsman is coming into his wicket and turning one for maximum 6 down to deep backward square leg. He was outside the off stump, but he made his move early, and the bowler saw him coming, and he went even further outside the off stump, but the batsman knew what he wanted to do. And regardless of where that ball was going to be pitched, he was going to play it around the corner.
Yes, he was the measure of it, as it were, and he got the maximum, the treatment that the batting team would want. So they are in excess of 160 at this point.
Yes, well, it's 163 at this time. And like we said, that was all timing, though, Leon. There was no muscle in it, but he got it some 80 meters. So it would have been 6 on any boundary. So we remember Salman got a wicket after he was struck for a maximum 6. Let us see if he has such luck. Lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place, because the batsman again is going 1 bounce down to 3rd man. And it was not a bad delivery at all, and it was.
Yes, but it was well timed. It was well placed, Ivor.
Yes, he just
exciting shot. Oh, how you'd love to go back into your pads again and play a shot like that.
I'm telling you, he improvised there, Leon, because that one was over the stump, and he just leaned back and just got some bat on it, and he went all the way to the boundary, 1 bounce, 4-4.
So I see a lot of international players are using that shot now. I've seen some guys from Sri Lanka and so forth. They're using that shot.
Yes. So 167 it is. This one is played nicely out to the wide mid-off. Comes in and prevent the batsman from taking 2nd. I thought they should have been trying to hustle there
for 2.
A little more. Yes, because the batsman, they jogged the single, and so was the fielder jogging in. But nonetheless, into 168. This time it's in the air. It has the height. Let us see if it has the distance. There's a man down there. He's going back over the ropes, and it's gone for 6.
It's gone for
So the new batsman, he too has joined the party.
And the score looks to be huge. Ivor at this stage is in excess of 170 now, is it? I'm sure it is, if not close to it. But
Yes, it's what 174. The score. So they would have recovered well, Leon. They were tottering around 2 wickets in the first over, and having asked to bat, I don't know. I was never captain to be sending
Send in, right?
anybody. No. I am not going to chase twice. Chase balls in the field and then chase runs. This time the batsman, it was back to the bowler, but it was too hot to handle. He just he just looked at it pass to his left and say, I would have none of that. There's a man out in the deep. Let him have that. But in the meantime, another one goes into the book, take the score up to 175, 76. Yeah, 175 as we come to the end of over number 16.
16. We do have 4 overs on average, about another 10 and over. Another 40 runs.
Yeah, I can see 200 runs.
200 runs looks a possibility at this stage. I do hope the field side are aware of this, the position. 100 and anything in excess of 180 is very, very huge in this format of the game. But you never know. We have some good hitters in the fielding side, and you could well see a good response to this total here today.
Well, believe it or not, we have young Stephen Taylor, one for the future in these parts, and I believe in any part of the world, because he would have represented the
Barbados Tridents, yes.
Yes, and he looked good.
He looked the part, as it were, and I believe he's going to be retained.
Yes, well, he is in the setup for the USA. They would have picked, I think, some 15 or so for the US squad, and he is in the squad. As a matter of fact, he's been in the squad for some time now.
For a long time.
No, well, we have a bowling change. This time the batsman is getting into this one, and he's making no bones about it. This is the biggest one now. This one came almost up into the stands, Leon. So I reckon that one was some 95 meters, 96 meters measured, because remember this wicket was pushed further north to accommodate soccer, and it came onto the concrete, just about 2 inches away from.
That's a maximum.
That's a massive hit.
That's huge.
Yes, 181. The left armer, and this time he's playing a lovely shot, getting it past the cover region, but he can't beat the man down at the long off region.
You know, and sometimes I hate to see a shot like that only can achieve a single.
Yes, he
With two, sometimes you have to play with a soft hand in order to get maximum amount of runs.
That was a quicker delivery.
Wow, good one.
The arm ball, as it were, he was headed into the stump, and the batsman came down at the last moment, prevented it from going into his stump. This time he's playing a squatted shot out to the deep mid-wicket area. He gets one for his effort. So they're getting the wheels are turning here, Leon. They're trying to get to that.
I heard about that ball before, though. I hardly see any ball being beat in the bat, and that one was out of the norm. Eh?
Well, 2020, you eliminate the wicketkeeper. There's hardly anything for him to do back there. And that's why I say my 2020 wicketkeeper has got to be a batsman, because there's hardly anything that is left alone. So you can say you don't have a keeper, you don't need a keeper, except for the runouts.
And the possibility of a stop.
Yes, and like we
they're
said,
rare.
They're very, very, very rare. Here again, this batsman is pulling one down to the mid-wicket region. He gets one as we come to end of over number 17. It's a 2020 over encounter, and Pacific is taking on the mites of the Southeast Select, and they would have won the toss, and they would have asked Pacific to bat. And early in the day, Pacific would have won their first match, Leon. And I don't know if they're going to make it 2 in a row, but this is the first match for the Southeast team. But like you said, with the likes of a Stephen Taylor, we have the captain, Timmy. And I'm going to see if I can recognize one or two other cricketers there that we can, of note, that can probably make some runs here for the Southeast region.
Everybody from the left right now, I'm on main until we get a
We have Les Monroe, I think.
Lesman Rowe, you said?
Yeah, he's the wicket keeper. Yes, and he's a good batsman. He plays
Any
here.
relationship to the Great Lawrence?
No, because I think he's from the Windward Islands.
Oh, Windward Islands. You never know.
Yes, but he's a good batsman. He plays here in the night cricket. That's organized here by the Cricket Council USA, and he looks good. He plays for this same team. He opened the batting when I saw him last. So, with the likes of him and Stephen Taylor, I am not too sure that 200 runs is going to be quite enough. But we'll watch and wait.
Watch and wait, as they say. Well, the runs have already been scored, Ivor.
India. And he takes the catch. No, I don't think he was in control of that.
Wow.
And the umpire is going to check. Could we have a replay on that last one? We're going to check and see if he stepped over or he let loose that ball before he got out there. We are checking it here. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, I think it was. He saved the boundary. He was going to go over. His momentum was taking him over the boundary with the ball, but he let loose of it and he limited the batsman down to just 1-1. This time the batsman is playing an aggressive shot that goes out to the extra cover. So just 1-1. So we have to alert the umpires that we can have the replays here if they're in doubt. So 187.
And this delivery has been worked around the onside, Ivor, for a single.
Yes, indeed. So singles and dots are very good. They're like gold dust at the end of the, coming to the end of the 2020.
You got to rotate the strike in whatever way, whether it be boundaries or singles, whatever form you can get the runs. The next delivery is being bowled. And this time he's striking it to the man there in the covers, but he seems not to be able to beat him.
No. It was racing towards him, and the batsman was on the back foot, so he couldn't get out of his stance to even scamper through for a single. So again, dot balls are like gold dust. 188 for the loss of some 5 wickets. A good partnership building up here between these two.
And a good total as well, Ivor.
Yes, indeed. This time he's getting into this one, and make no bones about it. This one will go all the way. There's no need for any antics on this one. That one has left the park, and they have got to climb the fence to get this one.
Well, that's what is needed at this stage of the game, getting as many runs as possible. And when you get the maximum, it's really an advantage to the batting side. And 200 looks a formality at this stage.
Yes, so
And that is his 50.
so that's 50 for the young man, 50 for the young man. So Elmo Hutchinson is on 50.
50, a
51
good knock.
51 as a matter of fact. And he's going again, and he's getting it away from the man down there with it in and out of his hand, and goes.
Has it gone to the
He got
boundary?
6 runs.
Oh,
as a matter of fact, he
it's
was
been
Yes, he was almost over the rope there.
And it just bounces off his hand and onto the boundary. That's what you're
No,
saying?
he was he was always on the ropes and out of the rope, and he was just trying to just
Knock it back into
knock
play.
it back into play. But he was on the ropes, and the umpire was in a good position to see that, and we can see the replay here. Okay, so they just got one for that, so it's 190. So the 200 is on the board, and Leon, so you've got 200 and some change now to get, because
And that is in any format is a huge total, and any T20 format
yes,
at any level, that is huge. You're gonna take some batting.
he's hitting this one in the air. He doesn't have the distance, but he's gonna be
Short of the
dropping
man.
safe. And oh, there's a
little.
mix-up down here with the fielder, and the batsman in the meantime would have scampered through for a second one. So 202 for the loss of 5. This time he's sweeping well. Gets past the man at the short backward square leg, and races away down to the boundary for 4. So
And then reining in some boundaries, Ivor.
yes,
Just what the doctor orders for closing off the T20 innings.
so 206.
We're asking over 10 and over so far. And that is going to be asking a lot of the batting side. And they will have to come with the A game on in order for them to overtake this total. But
Yes, well, the new bowler is Daniel Ahmed. So he's more the same. This time the batsman is playing this one in here. Beautifully taken there by the man on the point region. That one was wide outside the off stump. The batsman went after it, and the leap there was, the timing was just right. Because once he would have gone past him, he would have gone for 4 runs. So that's a beautiful catch, and I sure we would probably see that for the viewers out there. That was beautifully taken. It was outside the off stump.
I'm on replay, guys.
yes, okay. He's going to.
Going back to the live.
Yes, so the new batsman wearing sporting number 1 goes.
Back on main.
You seen the fall of a wicket? Oh, when they turn over.
So that's Mohammed Ali Khan. So Ali Khan, I think we might as well just go with that, because I'm sure they're going to be plenty of Mohammeds around.
I'm on 31. You said what now? You said what? Going back to 1. I'm on main. What do you need?
Wanveer Kumar.
The next delivery is being bowled, and
Oh, so
is he
he's in a
bowled?
well, he's in a hat trick, Leon.
Yes. A hat-trick ball now, as it were, coming up.
Yes.
And
So Victor Charles had an easy moment there. He
Yes.
did not trouble the score at all. Did
Never
not
did.
at all. Not at all. Not at all. So he's sporting the big, white red pads, and he's taking that lonely walk all by himself back to the dugout.
but I imagine, though, that they would have been satisfied with a total in excess of 200 runs. That's asking a lot, and it's not over yet.
Well, he sends the new batsman in on a hat trick, and is Saeed Abbas.
Side another.
So let us watch and wait and see. What will he do? Would he just negotiate this one, or would he follow the instruction and try to get as many as he can? Because
That should have been the instruction that has been given to the incoming batsman. You have no time to settle. You have to go for your shots.
even though you're on a hat trick ball, what do you think?
Yes, doesn't matter
Okay.
at this stage.
I totally agree with you, Leon. But nonetheless, there's not going to be any field changing to avert any hat trick. But there's a prize for the best bowler. Let's
Okay.
not forget that.
That's okay. Well, let's see what's the outcome of this delivery.
Well, there's no hat trick today. As a matter of fact, there's a single being had from that delivery. Takes this total up to 206. Yes, so that was beautifully taken there by Tim. I must go back to that catch again.
Yes, it's
It's leading.
one for the archives.
Yes. So there's a prize for best fielder as well. This time the batsman is hitting this one high and hard, and it goes some 90 meters for a maximum 6, believe it or not.
Wow. And believe it or not, the score is mounting out of the reach.
211. No, it's too early to say it's out of the
Man,
reach.
I think
It's
my money is on the batting side at this stage.
well, we'll watch and wait. Cricket
see.
is a funny game.
The score, the runs have been scored, and in excess of 200, asking a run chase in excess of 11 at this stage. I would see it's tough going, rough going for the incoming batting side. You're not missing any action at this moment. The field is being changed around, and we're waiting the arrival of the next delivery. And as I was saying, the score is in excess of 200 at this stage, with a couple of overs to go still, or is it one over left to be bowled? And it seems as if there is a change in the bowling, is it? Or is it the same person? Can't well pick out but he seems to have had a long run. It seems he's a quick bowler. However, he don't know if he started the innings, and I just wanted to map up because there's one more over left to be bowled, and we'll see.
Well, he's out caught behind.
Wow, I didn't see the nick, but I think I heard something, a click.
Yeah, he was trying to run this one down to third man. He gave himself some room, backed away to the leg side, and the bowler actually followed him, and he got a nick behind. So the wickets are falling at the end of the inning when they should have been getting the wheels are turning. Maybe they're satisfied with the 211, but I'm going to tell you, it's never enough when you're playing 2020.
Never enough. Okay, if you say it well. It's left to be seen, but if I were a betting man, I obviously would be going for the batting side at this stage.
Okay, well, could you tell me the lottery numbers?
Number 6 walking in, I got him on camera.
Yes.
Number 6. What's this?
Sohan Bat.
Facing up to this delivery over, and he's trying to hit him in the onside,
Saeed Ahmed.
and got a single, and was a close one, a close call, but a well-run, well-judged single.
Yeah, which takes the total up to 212. So
A word on the ingoing batsman, Ivor, his name, and his
yes,
potential.
Saeed Ahmed.
Saeed Ahmed. He sounds like he is a renowned Pakistani batsman. Or just has the name.
Well, the name sounds good, but let us see what he can do with the willow here at the Central Broward Regional Park. So Pacific, they are getting first now. And the youngster there is still there on 39. This time he's going after him. And he goes into the boundary. Past the man at the cover sweeper to his right. 4 more.
And Eddie's assessment or predictions almost double.
Yes, so 216 for the loss of some 8
216.
wickets. Yeah, 3 legal deliveries left in the inning,
Three.
and I think that's a good score, Leon.
I thought this is a huge score. Not a good, this is huge. Let's see how they will react in their reply. Losing a couple of wickets could change the fortune of things.
In the air, but I think, let's see, there's a man settling on it, takes the catch, there he goes. So 2 wickets in the over, in the 20th over for the young man. So he's nothing put behind the scoreboard, as nothing as much as taking wickets. So we have 2 legal deliveries. We have a youngster. He seems to be very, very young. What's the
and
number
he
on
is
his shirt?
Looks a very, he's looked somewhat up a
Number 9. Okay, Sohan Bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed to be a youngster. Maybe he might be the youngest guy in the tournament. We'll
And
watch and wait. He's no more than about 4'2". Just-
4-2.
yeah, you have Eddie by an
Remember
inch.
conversation we had sometime, you said the best batsmen in the world are short.
That's
remember
what I
that?
heard. Yes, that's, yes,
So you
But-
never know, he may just well
Yes.
be one in the making.
yes.
But in the meantime, the batsmen have crossed. So he won't be facing up to the delivery.
Out. Whoops! And this time he almost take the head off, and the youngster was really trying to get a strike at least. But it's just one delivery left in the
And
inning, and he would be left one legal delivery.
one
So,
legal, it could
yes.
be a wide, a no ball, or never know.
Yes, which would add to the score, and then they'll have to re-bowl that ball. So 216, very good score, posted. And this time they're trying to run 2 for 1, but the batsman not interested, and I think he erred.
He had nothing to lose.
Yes, but he should have run.
He should have tried and
The
at least
youngster
put the
was on
pressure.
the youngster was on his game.
Yes.
2 deliveries. He wanted to make sure at least he contributed by at least a 1. But it was not to be, so we've come to the end of the inning number 1, 216 total. And we are going to be having a run chase of 217.
On all circumstances, Ivor, 217 to chase in the T20 affair, it's huge. I don't know how you look at it, but I see it's an uphill task. But it can be achieved. But in my thinking, it ought to be.
Yes, and on screen you can see the youngster here. You're having a good look at him here. And he seemed to be a confident young man, and it's good to see the youths. Yes, he's walking briskly back here. He's on camera, live and lively, for the world to see, the youngster. And it's good to see youngsters participating in this tournament. And I can tell you, that was one of the highlights in the opening ceremony this morning.
Yes.
When Mark Qureshi was speaking about the youths. He said,
Yes.
you're not going to really see me out there playing the cricket. This is for you, the youths, and this is for the future of cricket. And Leon, we can have a little wrap in between, because the Cricket Council USA would have leased the grounds here for all of next year.
Wow, that is awesome. I wish we could get Mr. Qureshi to come and have a word with us, to tell us some more of his plans, but to have gone through the exercise of leasing the grounds is a mammoth attempt to help develop and promote cricket in the USA, and especially the South American area. We're going to be talking a little bit about for the regional tournament, which the fixture list has been put out. We tell you the number of matches that are going to be played, and there will be a number of interest in this tournament, because we will see the interest has been picked up, having been drawn to commence come November 6th. So We'll just sit and rap a little bit about it. Tell you, it's
In the meantime, while Ian get himself settled down there, we're seeing Bally, the official groundsman. This time he's there sweeping away any debris. He would have been instructed by umpire Ali's to do the groundwork there for the run chase, second inning. So the umpire is coming to check with the official score to make sure that everything is on the up and up. We have it here at 216, which in effect gonna be needing 217, has to be overhauled for the Southeast team to be victorious today. So as you can see, the wicket has played very, very, very well. We have not seen one delivery kept low, and we're just waiting for Leon. We're going to turn it over to him.
yes, indeed, Ivor. 217 is a huge total, and we do hope to see the crowds come out to see this run chase, because if they were to overhaul it, it couldn't be exciting. It has to be exciting. It's in excess
200 and it's in excess of 200 really, and in effect I just said it, it's 217. That's the runs that are required. So those runs are required to win, unless there is stoppage. There's for some reason or the other where we'll have to go to either net run rate or the Duckworth and Lewis. But what have you? We've got a game on. I know the likes of the skipper Tim Silbari. We have Les Moore Rowe. We have Stephen Taylor, just to name a few. I'm not going to put this score out of the reach at all. And in the meantime, I'm making an appeal to anyone downstairs who would have borrowed a charger from the scorer's table. We're asking you, now that your phone has been fully charged, to please return it. Okay, so you're not missing any cricket. There's an inning break. And we're going to see Eddie going to be making an inspection of the wicket himself. If I would have known, I would have had him with a microphone out there to report on the state of the wicket from close up. So we are in the commentator's booth here, bringing it to you live and lively.
Am I live, Ivor? Yes, indeed. Well, we just want to tell our listeners that the fixture list has been drawn up by the West Indies for the upcoming regional 4-day tournament, the PCL as it's been called. And just to bring our listeners up to date, because there are a number of changes have been made. It's not a number of changes, but no Jamaica. Last year they went into the tournament as without a name, and their name is now the franchise Scorpions. So Barbados is the Pride. Barbados Pride, the windwards are the Volcanoes. Jamaica are the Scorpions. Guyana are the Jaguars. Trinidad and Tobago, Red Force. The Leeward Islands are the Hurricanes. So we just have to be aware when we hear these names, not to confuse it with the PCL, the CPL. The CPL is different. So I'll just give you a rundown as to the matches that are being played. And the tournament gets underway in November the 6th. The Jaguars are going to take on the Volcanoes at the National Cricket Stadium over in Guyana, and the match starts at 9:30 a.m. The Hurricanes, they'll be taking on the Red Force, and that will be at the Warner Park Stadium over there in St. Kitts. And then the Pride will be taking on the Scorpions, at Kensington Oval, Barbados. So again, all 6 teams will be in action because there are only 6 teams that are allocated to this tournament. Round 2 will see the Scorpions taking on the Volcanoes at the Sabina Park in Jamaica. And the Pride, the Barbados Pride, will be taking on the Red Force at Kensington Oval in Barbados. And we turn our attention to the next match in the round 2, and that will be the Jaguars coming up against the Hurricanes, and they'll play that match at the National Cricket Stadium over in Guyana. Of course, you know, Guyana matches starts at 9:30 a.m. because of the time difference. Round 3, November the 20th to the 23rd, we'll see the Volcanoes playing the Hurricanes, the Windward Islands. That match will be played at Windsor Park in Dominica. I'm sure that stadium will be ready after the mammoth amount of destruction that had been done because of the flood that ravaged that country. But they claim that the Windsor Park was untouched. The final, or the next match in that round 3, we'll see the Jaguars coming up against the Pride. And that match will be played at the National Cricket Stadium in Guyana. And then the final match in round 3 will be the Red Force coming up against the Scorpions at Queen's Park Oval in Trinidad. There will be a break in the tournament at that stage after round 3. And the matches will resume December 4th with the Volcano playing, coming up against the Pride, the National Cricket Stadium. I repeat, Volcano versus the Pride, and we're about to see the commencement of the reply for the tournament as I break, and you're being told that the match, well, the total they have to chase is some 217 for victory, and in all circumstances, I think the 217 is a huge total to chase. But as I was told, they have some good strikers in the wicket. We call them batters now, and it's going to be a mammoth total to chase. And Victor, you will bring me up to date as to the 2 opening batsmen. You are more familiar with them. And Stephen Taylor, of course, we knew about this young man. He has gotten some good kudos from his first outing there with the Tridents of Barbados. He opened the innings and he played only a few shots. But from what... And the next batsman accompanying him was Srinivas Salva, and he's an all-arounder. Of course, Stephen Taylor is one that you have to keep your eyes on because he seemed to be very promising. We hope that he can come on, because if there's a time that his team will need him, will be today. And we now will give way to Eddie as he tells you the cricket action, how it's going to run today. Eddie?
So thank you very much, Leon Francis. And I don't think that the situation here could have gotten any better. So young Stephen Taylor now settles and waits the arrival of Salva from the northern end. The run chase is on, so they say. Stephen Taylor gets a wide delivery. It is signaled and called wide by the umpire Ali. And so looking to score 217 for victory there, Leon Francis. I'm sure it's an uphill task, but I'm sure young Stephen Taylor and the Southeast team are up to the task. And pretty much, let's hope that they will shoulder it.
I do hope so, but in my book, it's a huge total.
So it's a mammoth total, as Leon Francis was saying. That delivery is played into the region by young Stephen Taylor. Watching it very carefully, the Trident player who had a pretty good season, so to speak, or had quite a couple of games, especially the game against Guyana, then going on to the final against Trinidad and Tobago. So he watched now as Salva left arm begins to move in from the northern end. Passes the umpire just about now. Bosa Taylor still knocked it hard and high. Back over the bowler's head. This will go away for 4. There is absolutely no question about it. The delivery that was pitched up to young Stephen Taylor, and the left-hander just came forward just at that and just pushed it back over the head of Salva and into the boundary for 4.
And just what the doctor orders to in your run chase, Eddie. And the fielding team has got to be more vigilant. It has to be on their T's and P's and Q's, as it were.
So with 217 runs to score, young Stephen Taylor opened the face of the bat, guided down towards wide third man, the man wearing the number 5 jersey. He comes off the boundary, and Stephen Taylor can only get a single. So it brings the other striker, the other batsman, into strike, the man wearing the number 7 jersey it is. So takes his guard just about now from the umpire. Waiting for a little bit of adjustment. Or sweeping off the non-strikers in the crease. Young Stephen Taylor. So there's a discussion now between the bowler at the far end, Salva, and perhaps the captain, the man wearing the number 12 jersey.
This moment.
So for so there is a slip, there's a cover, extra cover, there's a third man, there's a long off, a long on, a deep mid wicket, it's a backward of square mid wicket, and the man on the long leg, just 3/4 away from the long leg boundary. So the third man has been brought into the circle now, and the deep extra cover has gone just a trifle to his left. So they're still making the adjustment out there, Leon Francis. Hasn't really decided what they want to do as yet. But I'm sure that they will come to it eventually.
But their main aim is to prevent them from getting boundaries at this stage. I would think they should limit them to the singles and the twos, and dry up the boundaries at this stage.
The track is a very good batting track. It is very low. And the wind is coming from the northeast direction. So anything goes down the leg side, the opportunity for the batsman to hit a single, to hit a 4 or a 6 is evident. Salva in the air, third man just to his left, cannot prevent it from going for 4.
Wow. It was a violent attempt there, but he just went over the boundary for a good boundary.
So, luckily, get out the mark. The ball was in the air for quite a long time. That's one thing for sure. So, you don't want to keep it down. But with 216, 17 runs to get, they realize that it's a lot of runs. But I'm pretty much sure that they're saying, Leon, that it is a gettable target.
Perhaps they don't want to lose any wickets or many wickets in the early stages.
This one will go for 6. And I alluded to that just a few seconds ago, Leon Francis. The way, the direction that the wind is blowing, anything down the leg side, and the batters go for it and they make connection, it's going to go for either 6 or 4. And that is quite evident of what I just spoke about a few seconds ago.
And you just said it, and it came to pass. Again, the fielding side has got to restrict the batting side of the boundaries. What are they going to do?
If I was the captain, I would let the bowler bowl outside the line of the off stump. Given the instructions to bowl outside the line of the off stump, and that's
exactly where you'd want him to bowl.
Let him beat you into the cover region.
Or he plays across the line. Chances are he probably will get caught behind or miscue.
Something can happen.
Anything can happen.
The over comes to an end, the end of the first over. And they're chasing 217. They are 17 without loss.
And 17 in the first over is a very good start. Can they keep it up? Can they maintain a total of in excess of 10?
Well, with young Stephen Taylor, the lot is on his shoulders, and with the prospect of the captain Sewage Bally to come. I'm pretty much sure also that there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders, but it's nothing that they haven't gone through before. They have been through it. They've played cricket. They've been playing cricket for quite some time, so they know exactly what it takes.
Well, we have a youngster here on the other end, Eddie. Would you find his name and tell us all about him? I'm not too familiar, but let's see you.
Sohan Rat.
Oh, that's the youngster that we focused on a little bit.
So it's going to be the lefty between the umpire and the stumps.
A little Bishu.
You can call him that. Tosses is up. Out towards mid-wicket.
A good start,
Yes,
I
indeed.
would say.
Yes, indeed. So, Rat realize that he's on track. He's in the spotlight. Tosses the ball from left to right. Begins to move in. Starts and stop. They perhaps forget he has to bowl. Still a youngster. Very young. Between the umpire and the stumps. Back to the bowler. Knocks it. One bounce into his hands.
Two dot balls. Two middle balls, man, as it were.
And they're like gold dust between the umpire and the stumps. Tosses up, the batsman coming down, give himself some room there, slap it back past the bowler. Just a single. So far, so good by bat.
So far, so good. Looks impressive. He looks like he knows what he's about. Let's see how Stephen Taylor will react to him.
And what it does for the batting team, though, it puts a lot of pressure on the batters because to open with a spinner at this stage of the game, it just...
And a you to that, Eddie, and a you to that. Let's see how this next delivery is put in the over. If he can limit Stephen Taylor to under boundary, it'll be good. Oh.
Over covers. This will go for 4.
Yes,
There is
that is exactly what you want to prevent.
Short delivery.
Short, and he was there for the asking, and Stephen in that mood will dispatch it under all circumstances.
But I think that he's saying to himself that he's going to give them the opportunity to make mistakes, and if they do, and they get caught out in the middle, fine. If they don't, then I will have to change my strategy. So bat comes up now. The wicket bowls to Stephen Taylor. Stephen Taylor gets a delivery right on the middle stump, comes up and push it back into the mid-off position. The bowler comes across and field to his own bowling. So far, so good there, Ivor Henry, from a young bat. Tosses it up. Stephen Taylor swings it away. This will go for 6. Short delivery. And Stephen Taylor swings it away out towards the mid-wicket region and over the boundary for 6. So some 11 runs off the over there, Ivor. What would you have to say? Comments?
Yeah, not a bad over by the youngster. And like I said, but Stephen Taylor was to the measure of that last delivery, was pitched about leg stump and going further down the leg side, and he swung it out to the deep mid-wicket and out of the grounds for the biggest 6 of the day. But we have with us here Mr. MAQTV, the founder and owner of everything that's happening in the park here, because this park has been under siege for 1 year by you, sir. It's going to be in your purview for 1 year.
Yes, thank you, Ivor. And we want to have the best cricket in South Florida. The stadium has not been used properly, and we was doing it this year for whole year occupied for this stadium. That's our vision is, and this is the first national U.S. Open. Also, they're playing national championship, and for all the U.S. best players here participating. If you look at it, Stephen Taylor has just been playing just now for South Florida and region, and they were wonderful cricketers on Pacific from California. All the best players came down and they made it 216 runs, which is the highest score for the stadium. And glad to see the best cricket going on in South Florida. Finally on the stadium kicking off, and the wickets playing very wonderful. And we have everybody's come down here and then telling about this wicket is one of the best wickets has been played. And there is the good best player all collected for national in US here, and we have Lawrence Rowe and Mansoor Akhtar and Zafar Shah is selecting for the national teams will be end of the tomorrow after they have 15 games and the best record. So Iowa, there was the great crickets and then going on in South Florida, and then we'll see that more growth is coming in, and we're going positive, and let's build cricket together.
Yes, well, I have to give it to the creators because having witnessed 216 runs score here on this turf, it is speaking volume, and I hope that they, not only the West Indies and people in neighboring cities and counties around here, but the ICC as well, because this is an ICC approved venue, and we would have witnessed 216 runs here, and the ball has been coming good, nice for batting, and we have to give it to the creators. And again, we have to give it to you. You're not missing any cricket because the ball would have left the ground and it would have been a lost ball. So just in case you think you're missing any cricket, you're not. You're still alive. You've been listening to a live interview here by Mr. MAQTV. We're still awaiting a replacement ball. The umpires are making their way back out to the middle. But again, Mr. Qureshi, you mentioned this this morning in the opening ceremony, which would be viewed later on, probably tomorrow. You mentioned that all this is not for you, but more so for the youngsters and for cricket, and you're allowing cricket to be the winner.
Correct. This is not me. I'm not playing out there, but I'm watching it and organizing that thing up. So just for the youth, future sports for the U.S. And we want to this sports being count #1 sports in USA. That's our vision is. And there's a lot of opportunity to the young youth if they play and participate, been playing on this fields or the crickets in U.S. Cricket is the second world largest game. And as you know, the U.S. is the top every sport, so we want to bring them support by US, and hopefully there will be kickoff. And we're doing great because if you look at it, everybody complain about this wicket, and there was the wicket, one of the best wicket as a witness you, and then second all for the youth, they all participating. We just saw the last over, and the youth they're playing Pacific as a youngster. And Stephen Taylor, basically all the youngster players, and then majority is the youngster, they coming in, and then top players. And believe there will be best effort for our selectors. They make a best team out of them. And like I said last week, and let's send back to you guys for commentators live scoring. Yeah, thank you very much, Ivan.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mohammed. And they heard it from Mr. Mohammed there for brief, and we'll be having more interviews as we go along, and you'll be hearing much more from him as the tournament progresses. But in the meantime, you would have you would have viewed it, an extra down the leg side, and then Stephen Taylor hitting one through the extra cover region for singles, so you would have not listened to 3 runs, but Eddie Edwards would bring you up to speed. Eddie.
Salva to continue from the northern end, passes the umpire now ball to just Sarkhan and played it into the cover region, and the batsman can get no score. So the sun has left us, Ivor, very noticeably. It's a slight overcast all around the ground. The wind is blowing from the northeast region, as I said early on. Watching operation is the left-hander bowling to Jaskaran in Salva, and just pass it, just slap it back past the bowler. This will run away for 4. Good looking shot all along the ground there, Ivor Henry.
Yes.
And it reminds me very much of your playing days, your early days of playing cricket.
Oh yes, I'd say back in the islands we call that you're playing through the pipe, and Victor would have said grass would not grow there anytime soon. That one was all along the ground. Beautiful shot. There's nothing like a back drive.
So that was a good looking shot by Jaskaran. Settles now with the arrival of Salva from the northern end. Swings it away out towards the backward of square position. Finds a man in the deep. And the batsman gets a single. So 1 more to Jaskaran. 1 more to the total. Brings now Stephen Taylor, the left-hander Stephen Taylor, into strike. And of course, Ivor Henry, the field is changing over for the left-hander, right-hander combination.
Yes, indeed. And, Stephen Taylor, one for the making, one for the future, one for the now. and he would have scored quite a number of centuries here in the South Florida region. He's from here in the Miami Broward area.
Salveranis went out to bowl to Stephen Taylor. Pitches it down the leg side. And he just swings it away down toward the deep mid-wicket boundary and into the boundary board for 4. Good looking shot from Stephen Taylor.
Yeah, he walked into that one, made it into a full toss, and he dispatched it out of the boundary. Because remember, Eddie, we're still in the power play. We have some 6 overs in the power play. So Stephen Taylor is making good use of just 2 men outside of the 30-yard circle. And those 2 men are placed in the offside, one at sweeper cover and one at the square third man. So I think the bowler was definitely offline there. But now they're making some changes, Eddie. They're bringing in the man from the sweeper cover, and they're pushing him back on the deep mid-wicket boundary.
Salva on his way to Taylor. Taylor comes down the track, gets a lifting delivery. The ball coming off the shoulder of the bat and finds its way down towards the wide third man position. And that ball must have deceived young Stephen Taylor, the Ivor Henry.
Yeah, what happened there, it was a quicker delivery and he rushed him and he was trying to pull it. And before he can get into the shot to pivot around, the ball took the outer portion of the bat up into the splice. And it was a bit airy, but fell well short of the man at the third man boundary. So it's a good thing he didn't catch up with it, because if he would have got the full face of it, it might have gone all the way to the third man. Who is he? We will see his number in a while. But it was not a chance by any means. But in the meantime, the batsman would have crossed for 1.
So it takes the total now to some 39 and takes young Stephen Taylor to some 25 from some 8 deliveries there, Ivor Henry. And Jaskaran is on 12. And he has faced some 10 deliveries, so young Stephen Taylor will remain on strike. And we're going to see a change of bowling from the southern end or the commentary box in Ivor Henry. And it's going to be the man who wearing the number 6 jersey. And he is Sanju Patel. We'll get that correctly in a second. The man wearing the number 6 jersey. He's none other than Saeed Ahmed. So the captain with some assistance for Ahmed. And we'll wait and see the final field for Stephen Taylor. So far there is a long off. There's a long on. There's a backward of square. There's a mid wicket. There's a long off. There's a cover, extra cover. There's a man at the point region. There's a man at the deep point cover region. And now they placing a slip and a gully for the left-handed young Stephen Taylor. So it's just about set now. It's all up to Ahmed. So they've been they continues to change. So Saeed Ahmed from the southern end. Stephen Taylor gets a delivery that kept a bit low. Swings it out to wide long on. And batsman cross for a single. So your thought and comment thus far on the batting of young Stephen Taylor and also the run chase of the Southeast team.
Yeah, well, they're doing very, very well. They're at a man's age, 40. And 40 is a very good number, Eddie. Always remember that. 40 days and 40 nights. Are you ready to fast? Would you do without food for 40 days and 40 nights, Eddie?
I won't answer that question right now, Ivor.
Thinking about it, huh?
I have to think about it.
Well, you should have been in the Friday prayer that they would have had upstairs here, the usual Friday prayer, because we all do need prayer. But it's good to see, you know, cricket being played here and the park being utilized. We're just inviting all of you folks out there to come on in. We're going to be into the night on the lights. And bang! There she goes.
And that's a lovely shot there by Jaskaran. Delivery pitched up there by Saeed Ahmed. Over-pitched delivery rather. And it get the treatment that it's deserved, so to speak, or lack of for a better term. Total now goes on to 46. for the loss of 1. So we have some slight adjustment making to the long on possession. Square leg goes, the man is going back on the deep mid-wicket boundary. There's a cover. Here is Saeed Ahmed rather. This one is swinged away into the mid-wicket region and
6.
over the fence for 6. A valiant effort there by the man at the deep mid-wicket boundary, the Ivor.
Yeah, he looked like a goalkeeper. They do play soccer on this field, Eddie, but there's no goal post down there. But he was in the air, looking like Gordon Banks of days of old. Basil, could you remember those days, Eddie?
Yes, indeed. He saw the side screen. That could have been easily mistaken for the goal post there. But nonetheless, it goes over the fence for 6. So good-looking shot there by Jaskaran.
I'm impressed with him.
And young Stephen Taylor at the non-strikers end looking on. Looking to turn it into the fine leg region. Let's see what the umpire signal. That might have taken the pad or the glove on its way through. So it's a wide delivery. Signal uncalled by umpire Jamula. And now the bowler's questioning the umpire's decision. Or the umpire's call, Ivor?
No, not really. They're in conversation. I guess the umpire took his time in saying 2 runs, but the batsman may have thought he would have played it onto his thigh or something, but he'll be hardly fully if he's saying it's leg byes as opposed to getting an extra delivery, getting 2 runs for that delivery. But nonetheless, the 50 is on the board, Eddie. 54 it is in the run chase, trying to get to 217. And remember, there's a first prize here for the batsman, the best batsman. It's all of $1,500. The best bowler also will get $1,500. The best wicket keeper would get some monies there. Lynn Francis has that list. And the best fielder will be receiving monies as well. Stephen Taylor is playing with soft hands outside the off stump. There's a bad miss there outside the off stump. They're running, ambling through for 1. That was non-existent, but nonetheless, the fielder made a mess of that one. Eddie?
I don't think that he thought that it came off the bat as quickly as it did, and it might have caught him flat-footed.
Yeah, that was like a short-arm jab there from Stephen Taylor, and he got to the fielder quicker than he thought. But he got 1 for his effort. 55 it is, Eddie, chasing 217. Where's your money, Eddie? Don't tell me it's in your pocket. Lovely shot again here from the young man. I'm very, very impressed with this young man, Eddie. He flicks this one from about the leg stump. It was not a bad delivery, but he worked it into the onside for maximum 6, Eddie. And I do have the list in front of me. The best batsman is $1,500. Second best batsman, $1,000. The best wicket keeper, $1,000. The best bowler would get $1,500. The second best bowler would get $1,000. And the best fielder would be getting $1,000. And yours truly, Mr. Lawrence Yagoro, is one of the adjudicators. In the air, has a height. A man is getting under it. He's coming down. Those are very difficult to take. He gets it in the end. There was a juggling act, and in the end, what matters is that he held on, and the umpire is satisfied that he was in control of the catch. And up goes that dreaded finger. The batsman, who impressed while he was at the wicket, Eddie, has got to make the long walk all by himself back to the hut. But he looked good while he was there. He made some 20, 30. And we'll give you his score in a minute.
So Jaskaran, a little bit too ambitious there, Ivor, and that is what the scoreboard pressure can do for you. Chasing 217 for victory. They lost their second wicket. Jaskaran comes back to the pavilion, not a very happy camper, and I'm sure that it is something that his captain and the management team would have to talk to Jaskaran about. We'll have to know when and where to go.
Yes, so the Pacific team gathered around, and you can see them on screen here at this time as they go back to their respective fielding position, having got the breakthrough. And it was a partnership, lovely partnership of 61 for the Southeast. And once again, we're saying they're chasing 217 Remember, the finalists would be playing here on Sunday, and they will be playing for all of the marbles, Eddie, but they would not be walking away with a cash prize. The cash prize is what I would have just spoke about. They're for the individuals, and we just have again to give it to Mr. MAQTV. They're trying to get the youngsters involved, and they're rewarding them with incentives such as money. And you didn't answer, where's your money, Eddie?
Well, my money is in the bank, and you can't get it unless I fill it out. Fill out a withdrawal slip or give you my bank card or along with the PIN number. So,
well, I wouldn't inform you about the hackers. So that's a safe place to keep it for the hackers. It's okay.
So in the meantime, Timothy Surge Ballard, the captain of the Southeast team, comes to the crease with lots of experience, lots of cricket under his belt. Takes his guard from umpire Ali, looks around the field, has a final look now, settles just about now. Settles into his stance with the arrival of Salva, Ivor Henry.
Yes, well, he's coming off that long one in the manner of a Michael Holding, left arm bowling around the wicket. This time he's playing it over the slip cordian and down to the boundary for 4.
A very ill-advised shot he got through with it, just passing the outstretched hand of the man at the first slip position and into the boundary for good-looking shot, one would say, from young Suraj Ballard, the captain of the Southeast team. Take the total now to some 65 for the loss of 2 wickets, and they're chasing 217 for victory. Leon Francis.
217 seems to be being threatened to be overtaken.
Well, as long as you have young Stephen Taylor there, as I alluded to early on, we'll come back to that in a second. Here is Salva now. One is where the Surge Ballet, and Surge Ballet swings out towards the long leg region, and the man coming off the boundary in the number 6 jersey, he picks up, sends a return, and not a very good throw, but couldn't prevent the batsman from getting a single. So young Stephen Taylor comes into strike. Bad news for Southeast.
Bad news, you say. A fall or wicket can change anything. A wicket or two can change the circumstances here. But right now, it's the chase is on.
So Stephen Taylor is on 28. Timothy Surge Ball is on 5. As we watch Salva in operation from the northern end, the left arm fast bowler begins to move in just about now. Slow delivery, over cover, this will go over 4. There is no man sweeping at the deep cover boundary. Stephen Taylor realized that, and he just came forward and just slapped it over extra cover and into the boundary for 4. Good looking shot there from young Stephen Taylor.
You saw Chris Gale there. You saw Chris Gale coming forward and slapping that to the covers. It was an extraordinary shot. Good, well timed, well placed, and it had the boundary written all over it. This has got to continue if they are to overtake the score. Let's see what the bowler will do differently.
And this went out to bowl to Stephen Taylor. Looking to flick it into the fine leg region. Didn't make contact. The ball going to the wicketkeeper. He took low. And the batsman cannot trouble the score at this stage. So I'm glad that the score must be happy that they get a little break really on.
Yes, indeed. Because I was a little anxious to see whether or not the umpire would have signaled a wide down the leg side. Or it did brush the pad, so that's the reasoning.
Young Stephen Taylor settles. High and hard, out towards long on. This will go over for 4. So young Stephen Taylor continues to deal in 6s and 4s.
Yes, and he knows where the gaps are. And that was well placed, way out of the reach of the man there at mid-on or whitish mid-on, and it went away to the boundary. And like I said, the chase is on. Ivor was saying that is gettable.
It is indeed a chase. It's one of the biggest chases that I've seen here in this ground in recent memories. But young Stephen Taylor and Suraj Bali continues to have the willpower to go on. On his way now to bowl to Stephen Taylor. Crouches down, slow delivery, looking to swing it out the pad. It's a wide delivery signal and called by umpire Bali.
Yes.
Umpire Ali, rather. So one more to the extras. Extras goes up by one. Takes the total now to some 76, 75 according to my score. 75.
Is just Karan Malhotra, not captain is just Karan, not Timmy.
Oh, not to me.
And,
Not me.
and he's thought that you guys are mixing runs for Steven to the just Karan, yeah.
Oh, okay. Eddie?
So out into the long off region, just a single. So one more to Stephen Taylor.
Just come on, is the captain.
So the over comes to an end. And at the end of the over, and at the end of it, chasing 217 for victory. They are 76 for the loss of some 2 wickets. Ivor Henry.
Well,
Leon Francis.
there
split
seemed
wicket
to
up, sorry.
be some we want to apologize for some information that had been passed on, because the captain of the team is,
Jaskaran
yes.
and not Timothy Sewage Ballet, as we have been announcing all
Right.
along.
And also, Eddie, some of the runs that have been scored, that we announced as being scored by Stephen Taylor, was by the other batsman.
So I'm glad that they brought it to the attention of the scorers.
And of course, that happens. And I'm sure that's the first mistake we ever made in our lives, right?
Yes, indeed, I concur. I'm meant to continue. Off the outer edge of the bat, find his way down towards the boundary, and into the boundary for 4. So good looking shot there from young Stephen Taylor.
And anyway it comes, you will accept it. The important thing that the scores are being worked here today, because every ball at least we have seen either boundary or runs are being scored. And
So it goes on now to 80 for the loss of some, is it 2 wickets?
80 for 2 in the number of overs.
We'll give you that in a second. It's a good delivery from Ahmed. Total remains on 80. We're chasing 217. So Surej Bal is at the non-strikers and doing a little bit of relaxing, and rightfully so. It's a full toss. And in the end, the umpire signaled and called wide, umpire Jamula.
Oh, that was down the leg side. And it was missed. It seems as if that was one that was set there to be hit hard for a boundary, but he missed.
First one we have seen, Stephen Taylor missed in a while. And again, easy beaten outside the line of the off. Now there's a stifle appeal coming in from the man at the wicket-keeper's position and also at third man, but not outside umpire Jamula.
That was a reasonably good delivery, and very few balls are being
Missed by young
missed
Stephen
by
Taylor.
Taylor, yes indeed, and that one went through him.
Ahmed Doddins went out to bowl to Taylor. Slapped it over. Long off, wide long off. This will go for 4.
And he did not miss that one, because it was there again to be hit, and he was to the measure of it, and as a result of that, he earned another boundary.
So you think young Stephen Taylor might have gotten a little bit upset that he missed those 2 previous deliveries?
Obviously, he has a mission in mind to overtake that 217.
Stephen Taylor is on 45. And oh my goodness, this one will run away for 4 again. It's a
And-
good shot.
and
Caresses
was-
it. Beautiful shot. What a shot there. Leon Francis by young Stephen Taylor. And the more young Stephen Taylor plays shot, the more that you enjoy him.
I hope the world could have seen him on the MAQTV. And it was a wonderful shot. The timing was there, the placement was there, and it was forewritten after it left the bat.
Nothing was wrong about that shot at all. So young Stephen Taylor goes on to 49 from some 19 deliveries. The score now is 89. And we into the 6th over. Out towards the mid wicket. The man from long on. Long on comes across. Bowls the returning. The over comes to an end. And at the end of the over, SouthEast chasing 217 for victory. There are some 90 for the loss of 1.
And a good 50 by Stephen Taylor. I don't hear too much of applause, Eddie. I am sure if you, as a commentator, would give him some applause, probably they will hear it from the background.
Well, they all stand in unison and giving young Stephen Taylor his respect that is being due to him. It's long overdue. He's been playing cricket now for quite some time. This is his home ground, so to speak. The experience is there. He has a lot of matches under his belt, and as Ivor Henry alluded to early on, he's scored quite a few centuries, so he's accustomed to that sort of a run-chase type of situation, type of deal. So I don't think that 217 is going to put lots of pressure on the shoulders of young Stephen Taylor.
And the word about the 50, it wasn't a gung-ho, as it were. It was real good cricket strokes.
He stand there, he stood his ground just about in every delivery. Seen him miss just 2 deliveries. And in the deliveries to follow, those were 4s. Stephen Taylor looking to swing it down towards the backward of square position. The ball rushed him, find his way out towards the wide middle long off area. Long on rather, and gets a single. So as he rehearses the shot now, he might have feel like he must have missed something there, Leon.
Yes, indeed, that was there for the asking, but he mistimed that one badly. But in the end, he was able to get a single. So, nevertheless, a run has been scored.
Stephen Taylor is on 51. Suraj Bale is on 5. He's the striker. The wicketkeeper, of course, is set in the field. Open the face of the bat. This will run away for 4. Suraj Bale didn't even bother to move. From the moment it left the bat, he realized that it passed the vacant first hit position and into the boundary for 4. The man wearing the number 13 jersey, he was given chase, but he had to abandon the chase at a very early stage. 4 more to Suraj Bale, 4 more to the total. It takes the total now to some 95 for the loss of some 1 wicket, and they're chasing 217. Leon Francis for victory. Where is your money, Leon Francis?
I got to go with Ivan now. Ivan said it looks like it's on, and it's definitely on at this stage. But a wicket or 2 can change the circumstances. But right now, it's looks like they're going to make this get the target.
Opens the face of the bat, guided down towards cover. Comes across, picks up. The batsman can only get a single. Years ago, I thought that you were a leader, but now I realize that you were a follower. You're following Ivor Henry?
Indeed. I'm following to see where the fielders could be set, because I know where can you put the men to save the singles and save the boundaries.
You know, they have a lot of joiners, you know.
Yeah.
People just join a lot of things, overjoin, so to speak.
Indeed. I got to agree when you see the writing is on the wall.
Looking to swing it down towards the back of square. Didn't make contact, the ball.
No.
Coming off the upper portion of the thigh pad.
Yes.
And this
at least you do well with a dot ball at any time.
Absolutely. And they're like gold dust. They're very hard to come by,
Yeah,
particularly when young Stephen Taylor and the man of the caliber of Suraj Bale is at the middle. And he's went out to bowl to Stephen Taylor. Is beaten outside the line of the off stump. Good delivery there from the young man. A delivery that deceived young Stephen Taylor by pace and flight.
A rarity. But they need several more of these kind of deliveries. But can they maintain that line and length?
To tame these two, it's going to take a lot. But I'm pretty much sure that the fielding team has lots of confidence. And particularly the bowlers. Swings it away out towards the mid-wicket region. And it goes under the fielder who dive in vain. 4 more to young Stephen Taylor. That brings up the 100. The 100 is on the board. They're chasing 217. It's 100 exactly according to my scorer for the loss of 1 wicket. Young Stephen Taylor is on 55. Surej Ballet is on 10. That's the latest score here at the Central Broad Regional Park.
And it's a grand reply, and it looks within striking reach at this stage. And in a moment they will get the number of overs that are being bowled, but in my book it looks like it's going to be that chase is on. 217 is
7 overs has completed.
7 overs having been bowled.
So, see my scorer here, Victor Charles out of Trinidad and Tobago. The man from Sangre Grande. Have you ever been to Trinidad and Tobago?
Oh yeah, yes. 1977, best carnival in the world. Right after Hazley Crawford would have dominated in 1976.
After Short Shirt's best ever album?
Definitely.
Says Sandy Grande. Train City beating outside the line of the off-stump. Find its way down towards the vacant position, and they're going to get a single.
Yes.
It is by indeed, signaled by umpire Jamula.
And I've hardly seen a bye being scored here this afternoon because not many of the balls are being evading the batsman.
Stand by for replay.
So it's 101.
For a loss of 1 wicket. In the 8th over, am I saying?
We aim to the 8th over. And of course the scoreboard pressure. I don't think that we can talk about that anymore at this juncture.
Another delivery, Ivor. Eddie, and it's been worked into the onside for the man deep on the
long boundary. Get a single.
And there is a single.
So Ahmed continuing from the southern end.
This delivery is tossed up and being worked away down to the mid-off, and he's a little juggled here, but the batsmen were able to take another run. When it looks like a single in the first place, but a little misfield there, and they were able to come through for the second run.
I don't think that they can afford to give away singles at this stage. We want to hold on to everything that comes their way, restrict the batsman as much as possible. And this one will go, man coming in from the wide mid-wicket region, down towards backward of square. Limit the batsman to just a single.
Good feeling there on the boundary. He had to move a long way to his right and prevent a boundary. At least he saved 3 runs there, in my view.
And only a young man could have run all that long distance.
That was you years ago, right?
Absolutely. So now the ball to Taylor. Taylor improvising. Find his way now down towards fine leg. And gets a single. He's not happy with the shot that he played in the final analysis. Thought that it could have gone for 4, but he didn't get a single.
Wow.
Back past the bowler. Just a single. So let me say welcome to the rest of the world who are in tune to MAQTV. Join us here at the Central Broad Regional Park in sunny South Florida. And certainly one would want to continue the support, particularly to those in India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, the East and Western Caribbean. Let me say pleasant good afternoon to the Antiguans and Barbudans, and also the Nevisian and the Kittian. To the rest of the entire Eastern Caribbean, you are in tune with the MAC television crew here, live and direct from the Central Regional Park. Ivor Henry?
Yeah, well, you know, wind has been forecast for after 4 o'clock this afternoon, so we're making a plea to the cricketers. Just in the event that rain were to come, we're asking you to assist with the covers. The players, it might be a bit much, but we're asking you to assist with the covers. They're at the western side of the ground in the event of any rain or any showers. We thank you for that. Thank you, and thank you again.
Lots of thank yous. Appreciation. Settles into his stances, young Suraj Ballet. Down to wide third man. And just a single. Take the total now to 107. 107 it is for the loss of 1 wicket.
Eddie, later on in the show, in the program, we will give the listeners some of the directors for the Cricket Council USA, the newly appointed regional directors of the Cricket Council USA. Donna Boyce, she is from Bose. That's right, she is from the New England region. Pick it up, Eddie.
Turn it into the onside. And gets a single. Brings Suraj Bali into strike. The man wearing the number 14 jersey. Very dangerous player. Especially when he gets going. So, see on his way now to bowl to Bale, and Bale gets a slow delivery, one that deceived him not only in flight but in pace, looking to put it into the deep mid wicket position or even back with a square. The ball slowed up a little bit on Suraj Bale, so now he's looking into that direction. And remember that the wind is blowing from the northeast region, so it's going to help him. He swing down the leg side. Charging down the track. Is it into the region. Coming back for run number 2. Make it quite easily too. Not much of a bother for the aggressive young Bale. Takes a total now to some 110 for the loss of 1. Bale is on 14 and Stephen Taylor is on 60 from some 30 deliveries. And Bale is on 14 from 8 deliveries according to my score of Victor Charles. The man out of Trinidad and Tobago.
And it, okay, go ahead.
Out towards wide mid wicket. The return comes in, but not before the batsman completes a single. So the over comes to an end, and at the end of the over, at the end of it, chasing 217 for victory. They are 111, 111. All the Nelsons, Ivor, for the loss of 1. So you can't ask for anything better. It's all 1. And I am the only one.
And Eddie, if it were to rain, the Duckworth-Lewis would put the batting side ahead at this stage, would it?
We playing the Duckworth-Lewis?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. And just that you mentioned it, let me ask the man that pretty much in the know in the organization, Danny Khan. Danny Khan, as my sidekick, would have just asked the question, if it were to rain now, what would it take for the batting side not to win?
Not to win or to win?
To win or not to win? What are you saying?
Not to win.
Well, I don't think it will be rain, but if rain come here at the moment, the batting team right now is 111 for 1 off 9. They're in a very good position.
Are you a big fan of the Duckworth-Lewis rules?
It's ICC and we have to go by that.
Yeah, I understand that, but my question is, do you like that kind of a rule?
I have to do it as an umpire, yes.
You really have to? Because I really don't like it. As a commentator and as a former player of the game, I really don't like it because I think that it is a rule that has a lot of injustice to it in its final analysis.
Well, you may be right in some sense, but, you know, as cricket rules, and you have to go along with that.
You have to go along, but you don't have to really like it. Just like if you would have put your finger up if there was a leg before decision or a call, the batsman may not agree with your decision, he may not like it, but you just have to walk away. Correct?
Yes, you got to live with it.
Exactly. So in this analogy, the Duckworth-Lewis, as far as you're concerned, you like it because you have to deal with it perhaps Sunday in and Sunday out, or Saturday in and Saturday out, whenever you're officiating in a match. Or you might be the third referee.
Well, we have to do it. There's no two ways about it. It's not who like and who doesn't like. It's the system, and we have to go with it.
Let me get Ivor Henry in here just to hear his clue on that. I'm pretty much sure that he's going to have a lot to say.
All right, thanks.
Thank you very much for your input. Danny Candeman out of Georgetown, Guyana, in South America.
GT.
GT, as they say. GT boy. Ivor Henry, talking about the Duckworth-Lewis rules or scenarios, so to speak. Are you a big fan of the rule, though? Let me hear your input on that.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, you have to abide by it because that's what's in place. But if you're asking me personally, I do not think that cricket should come down to a science. I always believe that cricket matches should be won or lost on the field of play, within the boundary ropes, within the boundary flags.
Have you ever met Duckworth and Lewis? Or have you ever met Duckworth or Lewis?
Well, someone whispered in my ear and said, the duck has no worth. But in the meantime, a 4 would have been struck there, and I think there would have been a bad miss.
Yes, a bad miss there, misfield badly.
Yes, and for the viewers out there, you would have seen that for yourself.
So it's 120 on the board, chasing 217, and we have some 9.5 overs completed. And the Southeast team is going great guns. Not only they dealing in 4s, but they're also dealing 6s at the end of over number 10, looking to score 217 for victory. They are 121 for the loss of 1. Ivor Henry.
Yes, well, the one chase, like I said, there's no scoreboard pressure, as you can tell from the batters. They're going along their merry way, and they're making short work of this, if you were to ask me. We're just halfway there in terms of overs, but we have long gone past the halfway mark, I would think. 121, chasing 217. So anything less than 100, and you have to chase with the last 10 overs with wickets in the hut, I think you're favoring the batting team, unless there's a major collapse.
So looking at the spectators here today, I think that we're expecting a bigger crowd over the weekend, though, like say on Saturday and Sunday when the finals will be played.
Yes, we are hoping for that. There were plenty of advertisement on display out there on radio stations. Blog Talk Radio, the cricket show, would have had that for quite some time, and again we'll have that tomorrow and on Sunday. And at the same time, we're inviting you to listen to the cricket show on Sundays. Let's call it New York time, 6 o'clock in the afternoons. And you'll hear much of the sporting events, especially cricket and where West Indies is concerned, and any live cricket event that's happening in the world. Leon Francis would be hosting that show on Sundays. But Eddie, I'm going to be taking a walk, and I'm going to see if I catch up with the captain of the batting team, and I'm going to make the round, so you'll be listening in your headphones, and I won't be hearing you. Well, I'll be hearing you because I'll be hearing it through the speakers downstairs, so you can continue with the live thing, and in between you might hear me through your headphones. I'm going to go scouting.
Well, good luck on that, Ivor Henry. That's a full toss. Oh, that's a beamer. Back in the day that we usually call it. It's a no ball. It is signal and called by umpire Ali. So it's automatic. It's a free hit. And Leon Francis with so many.
Oh yeah, they have it. Ali and Daniel, the both is play for US now. The ICC they selected. Three guy right there, this side. Ali, yeah, Ali and Jeshkaran.
Well, as you were saying, Eddie.
This way now to Stephen Taylor. Ball coming off the inner portion of the bat. Finding his way down towards the backward of square position and into the boundary board for 4. So Stephen Taylor has continued to be aggressive, continued to be the man with the hot hand, so to speak. Wants to get out of this so-called overcast condition as soon as he possibly can. The score goes up now to 128 for 1. Young Stephen Taylor is on 71. Serge Bally is on 20.
And he looks unstoppable, Eddie, at this stage.
So that's at that ball. And as I said early on, they are like gold dust, so to speak. So it's always a combination of left-hand and right-hander. When those two are in the middle, it can cause a lot of problems for the fielding team, Leon Francis.
Indeed, very much so, because the bowler's got to think.
Out towards long off, just one bounce in front of the fielder. But I think that he should have run in and made a valiant effort and perhaps getting on with there, Leon Francis.
Yes, he could have made a better attempt at that, but you never know when once you being hit all over the park, you tend to be rattled a little. So he probably felt that might have prevented him from, at least he prevented the boundary and just saved. He would have saved the boundary, and when on a normal circumstance he would have gotten a catch.
And that's a good looking shot from Timothy Serge Bally, improvising shot. Gets 4 for it. 4 more to Bally, 4 more to the total. Takes the total now to 133 for 1. Serge Bally's on 24. Stephen Taylor is on 72. Stephen Taylor edging towards that century. The over comes to an end. And at the end of the over, and at the end of it, chasing 217 for victory. They're 133 for 1. Leon Francis.
Yes, 133 for 1. Good total, good reply. It looks like the total is being reachable, more than reachable at this stage. Just a matter of finishing at this stage, and with having just lost 1 wicket, that's enough.
Okay, I have here with me Mr. Ali Khan, fast bowler in his own right, and he's trying to get to higher heights in terms of cricket in this USA. So, Mr. Ali, welcome to the Central Board Regional Park, and I know you've engaged in a match here this time, but let the listeners know you're on MAQTV. Right now, being heard throughout the world, where millions of people are listening to you. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, and thanks for MAQTV to inviting me for the regional USA National Championship. It's going great so far, and hopefully we win the games.
Okay, well, in terms of that, you are aspiring to do greater things. You're a young man himself. Where do you expect to be maybe later this year or next year in terms of cricket?
I just got selected for ICC Americans Combined. First step. It's a really big thing for my career, so I'm looking forward to that. We are going to Trinidad in January, so hopefully I do well, and if I perform well, I'll get a CPL trial, and if I go through the trial, hopefully play CPL next year.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. CPL, you know, they're trying to get CPL coming to play right here because, you know, this is an ICC, the only one in America, as a matter of fact. Do you know that?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be few games playing here and Indianapolis. I don't know if that's right or not, but it's going to be great.